Freya is the goddess of fertility, party, and love. Me. Ooh, salacious, scandalous, I love it. Are you kidding me? Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. And welcome back to Bird, who's such a sweet special guest in the background of today's video. Oh my goodness, we have such an exciting video today. I really wanted Bert to be a part of it, so I am holding his favorite treats here today. He didn't come in on his own accord, unfortunately. But you know what? He's here and he and I are hanging out and he's having some treats. Bert, are you as excited about today's video as I am? Probably not, but that's okay because I think you'll be excited once you see what's happening. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to find out that Bert's favorite cat treats are Temptations creamy dairy flavor. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in the new ODEN'S Saga of Freja collection. So I recently reviewed a bunch of products from ODEN'S literally a week ago from today on my channel. They were kind enough to reach out and ask if they could send me some stuff in PR to try because they thought that I would really vibe with their brand, and I'm so happy that I did because I do really vibe with their brand. They did not use the word vibe. I used the word vibe. But so I've recently tried their Alva 2 palette. I tried one of their Alva Flower blushers. I've tried a lip stain from them. I've tried the Norns highlighter, and I've literally loved everything I've tried. So I'm so excited to be one of the first people to try this new collection. It hasn't even come out yet. Look, I have this beautiful velvet makeup bag. It says Saga of Freja on top. I will show you the products inside because I know you want to see the palettes. So this collection has a lot in it. It's really cool. First of all, they sent me this little color switcher, which I've never used a color switcher before. You're supposed to be able to just like dip your brush into it between colors, which is great because I do not wash my makeup brushes. I know that's gross, but I don't, so this is very exciting. And then they also sent a brush set, which I have been using for over a week now, and I love them so much. So I'm so excited to show you these brushes. Look at the cute packaging, a little pastel mint moment. We love it. And then for the palettes, we have the Saga of Freja palette, which is the biggest palette. It's two-sided. So you have your first side here. It's got a bit of a warm tone color story, but with like hints of cool tones, you know, some reds and stuff. And then on the other side, you have this color story, which is more of greens and oranges and bronzes, both really beautiful. And then we have these two smaller palettes, which you have the Saga of Freja Chapter 1, which is the Tears of Freja. Ooh, it's actually called the Amber Tears palette. It says it at the bottom. This is like the chapter. The chapter is Tears of Freja, but the palette is called the Amber Tears palette. And then inside it has this beautiful purple and goldy bronze color story. Really pretty. All really unique color stories. I'm a big fan. And then you have the Chapter 2 palette, which is called the Saga of Freja Chapter 2 Cat with the Golden Carriage, because a fun fact about Freja, first of all, Freja is the goddess of fertility and of partying, and what was the last one? I know that sounds made up, but it's true. They sent it to me in an email. Freja is the goddess of fertility, party, and love. Me. Just kidding. I'm kidding. But I love that there's a goddess of partying. That's so fun. And it also says that she rides in a golden carriage that is carried by a cat. So Bert could very easily be involved in this story. Oh my gosh, what if Bert carried me by a carriage? I would literally scream. But yeah, so the Chapter 2 palette is about the cat with the golden carriage, but the palette itself is called the Cat's Breath palette. And this one is probably my favorite color story. I think this is so pretty. I love the deep blues and the turquoises and the orange, just beautiful color combos. Everything in the collection looks really beautiful. Oh, they also have a bow available if you guys want to get a bow. I have it in my hair, probably not very well, but I do have it in my hair, and it does make me feel like a princess, or a goddess I should say, because Freja is a goddess, and so am I in this bow. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to see my review of the new ODEN'S Saga of Freja collection, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching. It's coming at you right now. So I've been trying to think about how to organize this video, and I've been so torn because there's technically 4 palettes here since the main one has 2 sides. So what I thought I was gonna do was just like pick one to focus on, like maybe focus on the big one. But you guys, if I'm being completely honest and unbiased, the palette I'm most attracted to is the Chapter 2 palette. Look at these shades, oh my gosh. So I think what I wanna do is start in this palette, and I am going to skip around and use all of the palettes, at least use a couple shades from all of the palettes. I'm trying to go off of like what I would be most drawn to, you know? And like, I cannot lie, this color story, the Cat's Breath palette. Come on, of course I like the Cat's Breath palette. I like Cat's Breath. Actually, that sounds gross. Bert's breath doesn't smell like anything. He has very fresh breath. He's a very clean cat. But like I said, I do want to start with the Cat's Breath palette because this color story is very much my color story. So we're starting with Cat's Breath palette. Let's zoom you in so you can really see the makeup look. I like to get you up close and personal. Too personal. There we go. Just close enough. Alrighty, so as per usual, I have gone ahead and primed my eyes with my e.l.f. Putty Face Primer. I like to use it on my eyes. It works really nicely. So that's what I got going here today in case you're curious. I think I want to start with the shade Catnip. This is such a beautiful aquamarine shade. It kind of matches the background of the palette. It looks so, so pretty. And I'm going in with are the brushes labeled? The FR4 brush. There you go. Your classic FR4. Freja 4. I get it. And I'm just gonna pop that baby in the crease here. And boy, is she pigmented. Holy moly. I'm not surprised though, because like I said, I just reviewed the Alva 2 palette, which is not new, but was new to me last week. And the thing I was most blown away by was how incredibly pigmented the pastels in that palette were. So I'm really excited to see that same consistency in the Freja collection. Now you may be wondering, does she have a plan for this look? Is there a plan in sight here? Does she know what she's doing? No, I don't. That is part of the chaos and intrigue of my videos. I never have a plan and I just see what happens. So far I love this beautiful catnip color, and now I think I want to dip into the color Bad Temper. Ooh, salacious, scandalous. I love it. And am I going to use the same brush? No, I'm not going to use the same brush. I'm going to use this smaller brush. Is it the right brush for this? We don't know, but it is the FR5 brush, and I'm gonna dip into that shade Bad Temper. I actually used this brush last weekend to give myself a little eyeshadow wing, and it was so good for creating winged liner. It's so thin and precise, which is why I want to use it right now, because the idea I have is that I'm kind of gonna create a little cut creasy moment here with this deeper shade, which is so freaking pretty. Oh my gosh. It's like an emerald jade, if that makes sense to you. I'm just gonna try to take that right under where the eyeshadow is. Oh, that's really pretty. I love this brush so much. I've never had a brush like this before. The FR5, holy moly. I don't know if you'll be able to buy the brushes separately. You might have to buy them as a set, but honestly, the set is worth it because all of the brushes are great. But if you can buy the FR5 just on its own, I would highly recommend it. So we're gonna take a brief break from the Cat's Breath palette. Brief break from the Cat's Breath palette. Brief break from the Cat's Breath palette. Try saying that 5 times fast. But okay, so I want to dip into the main palette here, the Freja Saga palette, because I really liked this shade in that, which is called Defend. This beautiful green, I feel like will lend itself really nicely to the rest of these colors. And oh my gosh, we get to try the color switch. Okay, again, should there be water? I don't know. Did you see that? Oh, it's coming off. What the heck? Where did it go? That's so cool. Okay, so like I said, going into the shade Defend in the main Freja Saga palette. And do I know where I want to put this, you ask? No, I don't know where I want to put this. Let's just use that color to blend over the other color. Why not? Who cares? Makeup has no rules, and this is what I'm doing right now. Ooh, that actually is really nice. You know what? I didn't know what I was doing, but the universe did, because these colors are blending really nicely together. Just kind of using that to soften the line I created, even though I just went out of my way to create like a really sharp line. Now I'm softening it. Things change, and I'm just kind of softening that line with this beautiful color. I really like this color. It's really pretty, this color Defend. And it looks like I'm reading a book. Oh my gosh, you could totally fake somebody out and just be like sitting waiting for the train or something and being like, oh yes, very good. Then they look over their shoulder and they're like, is she just staring at eyeshadow? Yes, I am just staring at eyeshadow. Dave. I don't know why Dave is the man in that situation, but classic Dave, right? Alrighty, so I went ahead and primed my eyelid with my NYX glitter primer because I want it to be nice and sticky for these beautiful shimmers. And I am going to start with the shimmer in the Cat's Breath palette, just because I feel like this shade right here, what's it called? Bling, would be a really beautiful outer corner shimmer here. I'm also gonna use that FR5 brush. Some of these shimmers seem like they're almost like a flaky formula. Have you guys ever used Copacetic Cosmetics flakies? That's what they remind me of. So let's go ahead and start putting this on the outer corner here. Oh, I think I have too much on my brush. I am getting a little bit of fallout, but I think that's my own fault for picking up too much on the brush. If you picked up less, you'll probably be fine. All right, well that's just about one of the most beautiful shimmers I've ever seen in my whole dang entire life. So now let's move on to another one. I'm gonna use 3 shimmers on the lid, so we'll use as many as possible. And I think for the second one, I wanna dip into the one palette I haven't yet, which is the first side on the Freja Saga palette. The one with the more purpley reddish vibe here has a beautiful icy blue. And this one is just like, the definition of foiled. I'm so excited. This one I'm going right in with my finger. I'm confident the finger will be the best for this one. So let's just see. Are you kidding me? What? It's like, it's blue, but it's silver. It's magical, mystical, wonderful. This one is not the flaky formula. That one that I just used from the Cat's Breath palette was giving like flaky vibes, whereas this one is just giving like straight up metallic foiled sparkly goodness. Okay, now how am I supposed to decide on what I want my inner corner shade to be? There's so many good shades, oh my gosh. Okay, so I think the shade I want to use on the inner corner here is the shade Cat Star, which I don't know if you can still see. It kind of has like a zebra vibe going on here. Like there's different colors in it, kind of like a marbling. It's really pretty. So I think that could look really nice in the inner corner. I have it on my finger here. This is what it looks like. Okay, so for this shade, I'm gonna go in with another one of my ODEN'S eye brushes. This is the FR6 brush. It's giving like strong pencil brush vibes, so I think it'll be good for the inner corner. And these shades feel really creamy. When I dug my finger into it, all of the marbly looking shades felt super creamy. Honestly, all of the shimmers feel super creamy, but especially these ones. Okay, I hope I got enough on my brush here. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm noticing about this shade is it's a little more sheer than the other shades that I've used. So change of plans. Let's see what this looks like as a brow bone highlight. Okay, yeah, this is definitely more of a brow bone highlight vibe. It's not opaque enough to really stand out on its own, especially since I already had so many colors down here. You can see it kind of just swirled around with those colors. So I think I'm gonna go back and pick one of the more opaque shimmers to put on my inner corner, but this is looking really beautiful as a brow bone highlight. Alrighty, so I real quick just ended up adding some more of that shade from the Freja Saga palette. This shade, I don't think I ever said what it was called, Muse, that beautiful silver. I just brought it into the inner corner here because honestly, I feel like that shade is just so powerful. There isn't a shade that's really gonna be brighter than it, because like I said, that other shade I used was really more of a highlight shade. So now what I wanna do is just repeat these steps on the other eye super quick, and then we're gonna get back to doing some real fancy lower lash line business, because I have a lot of other colors I wanna use on the lower lash line. Okay, so as you can see, I got both of my eyes done now. I got the face done. I'm feeling very glamorous. But now I think it's time that we add some color to the lower lash line. And I know you guys are probably dying to see me use anything other than blues and greens because that's all I've used so far. But I promise you we're gonna use some fun colors. Okay, and I think some of these fun colors that we should dip into should be some purples and some reds, because there's a lot of really pretty purple and like red shades in here. Like you have this beautiful purple in the Tears of Freja, in the Amber Tears palette, I should say. I really love that purple shade. And then also in the first half of the Saga of Freja palette, there's some really pretty deep reds. So I'm like, do I want to play with the reds? Do I want to play with the purples? I think we're gonna play with the reds. Go back in with my color catcher, clean my little brush here. This thing's amazing. This is so cool. Oh my gosh, I can't believe, I keep calling it a color catcher too. I know that's not what it's called. What's a color catcher? Isn't that what you put in with your laundry? I guess it's kind of the same thing, right? Okay, so a shade I think I'm most intrigued by is the shade Mystery in this Saga of Freja palette. When I swatched this shade, I was like, holy freaking moly, that was so pretty. So I think I'm gonna take my other little flat brush here. It is clean. I think it's just, yeah, it's just stained. So good job, color catcher. And I'm gonna spray it with some setting spray just because I feel like that's the right thing to do. And now dipping into that shade Mystery, I just feel like this will look so pretty with like the deep emerald greens I got going on here, but I don't know, we'll see. Start on this eye, going right into that outer corner. Holy moly, that is so pretty. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm shocked. We knew it was gonna be pretty. We saw the swatches. That is really pretty though. Oh my gosh. This shimmer is definitely not one of their most powerful shimmers. It's more of like a satiny shimmer, but I feel like those are so great for the lower lash line. All right, I think that looks so pretty. I could just take it all the way into the inner corner, but I wanna use just one more shade. I've already used how many shades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shades. shades. Wow, that's pretty good for an eyeshadow review, but you know we're gonna go the distance and I'm gonna do 8. We're gonna dip into the Amber Tears palette. I don't think I've used this one before. Oh no, that's not true. I used Tears on my brow bone, so we're gonna give another shade for this palette. I'm dipping into Pink Ice. It's a really, really pretty shimmer. Okay, and let's just pop that right here. It blends in really nicely into this shade Mystery I was using too, like this dark burgundy. It's blending in really nicely together. All right, I think that looks really beautiful. I also just realized I forgot to put the brow bone highlight on this eye. So I'm gonna show you how it applies with the fingers. Let's see, dipping into that shade Tears in the Amber Tears palette. I don't know if you remember, I used this on my brow bone before. Hey, silly lady, that's not the shade you used before. It was from the Cat's Breath palette. You used this shade before. That's why you're so blown away at how different it looks. Oh my gosh, both beautiful shades though. And I'm gonna go in with my finger and show you how pretty that looks. See, this is interesting. You would think that this would be more of like a vibrant blue shade by looking at it, but when you mix it in with the white, it really is rather sheer, and you could definitely pull it off as like a brow bone highlight for sure. Or even a regular highlight if you want. You know, honestly, should we go for a little blue highlight? I am already wearing highlight, but I mean, who couldn't use more highlight, you know? Oh, okay, a little subtle blue highlight there. I'll take it. Ooh, look at that cheekbone. Ooh, it looks like I have a cheekbone. Wow. I know I have a cheekbone, but they're not always very prominent, so this is really making them look more prominent. Oh, how pretty. I love that. And these feel so creamy. These feel like wet. It reminds me of their highlighter formula, which I also love. So very similar to the highlighter formula in case you've tried that. Oh my gosh, and that shift? I don't know if it's picking up on camera. Let me turn the brightness down. Can you see that pink shift? How it looked blue at first, but it's like shifting pink. That's really pretty. Holy moly. Let's give the shade Tears another swipe here, shall we? Oh my gosh, yeah, it looks super purple on the hand. Or on the finger. How cool is that? Oh, that's a beautiful shift. Wow, look at that indigo to purple to pink. I love to glow. All right, I gotta finish getting myself together real quick. I gotta put some mascara on and a lip on real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you which palette I think you should buy. If you should buy any of them. Should you buy any of them? I don't know. Stay tuned. I'm coming back right now. Oh my gosh, here I am. What do you think of my finished look? Here you go. Give you a little full 180 look here. Like my future self popped in and mentioned earlier, I am wearing 2 different brow bone highlights, but honestly, it's kind of working. I'd say who can really tell from a distance, you know? I think this look is so pretty. I absolutely love the way it turned out. Let me zoom you out a little bit so we can get the full vibe of the look. Also, this bow, I'm sorry, I feel so cute in this bow. I feel like a literal princess, and I love that, but I know you want to hear me say what palette is my favorite. What do I recommend? Because I will be honest, I don't think you need the full collection. It's a beautiful collection, and I am so thrilled to have it all, but I don't think you're gonna have FOMO for any palettes that you don't buy, you know? So let's review the palettes real quick again. You got your first palette, the Saga of Freja palette, which is double-sided. You got your little warm tone reds, then you got your little orange blues. Then you have your Amber Tears palette, which is the one with the more bronzes, and then the purpley tones. And then you have your Cat's Breath palette, which has the blues and oranges. And if I am being real with you guys, if I were to make a purchase from this collection with my own money, it would be the Cat's Breath palette. I mean, it's the palette I use the most shades from, and like for good reason. I mean, they're so beautiful. I think all of the shimmers in this collection are incredibly special. I think they're so impactful. But for me, this palette just feels the most unique. I mean, every single shade is just so cool. I wish I had used the shade Wool Ball, which is this shade right here, which looks, I don't know, it almost looks gray, but it's so interesting. It has blue and orange mixed together in it. It's just so cool, so impactful and wet looking. I think this palette has such an interesting color story. So many different formulas in here. You have one of those beautiful marbled shades, which like I mentioned earlier, just feels creamy. It feels like a cream. And then you have one of those flaky shades down here. The shade Soft is so cool. I don't know if flaky is a term that Copacetic Cosmetics has coined or not. I'm not not sure. I'm sorry I keep calling it flaky, but look how powerful that is. I mean, it's just another one that looks super, super wet and gorgeous. I personally just love palettes that combine beautiful emerald greens and oranges and blues like this. I think they're such complementary colors, and I also like that it does have some more neutral options for you. You know, you got more of a neutral orange shade, and you have a deeper brown shade, so I think it could still be pretty versatile. And these shimmers, oh, these shimmers are blowing my mind. They're so, so pretty. So I think that I would recommend the Cat's Breath palette as my #1 choice, but I would love to know which palette was your favorite. Are you going to be picking up any of these? Please let me know which one you're going to get if you do. And if you haven't tried ODEN'S Eye yet, you guys are missing out. You're seriously missing out. I know they did send this stuff to me, but I'm seriously so impressed. You know, I didn't have to review it. I should have mentioned this video is not sponsored. I did not need to review any of this stuff. This is completely my own decision, but I am incredibly happy that I have it because I think their formulas are so, so good. And I'm just so happy with everything in this collection so far, but I'm definitely going to keep testing it. So subscribe to find out how my reviews evolve over time. I do a lot of second impressions reviews on my channel where I talk about makeup and how my opinions have changed over time. So be on the lookout for those. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And I thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my description box for all of the other makeup on my face today. Also in my description box, I will have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources, resources to support the Asian American community, and resources to support the LGBTQ+ community. So please, please click on those links if you haven't yet. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!